I'm Sarah Fergani with your headlines on this Wednesday, October 26. A young girl described as just 13 or 14 years old was shot inside her home and survives. She was taken to the hospital and we're told she's stable right now. San Antonio police say she was in her home when a blue car drove by, firing multiple shots through the house, hitting the girl in the ankle. Police have not said anything yet about the shooter. A suspected drunk driver survives a crash, but his passenger is dead. The crash happened on West Commerce, right off of 36th Street, just after midnight. Police say a man crashed into a utility pole, causing the car to wrap around that pole and trapping the passenger inside. The man in his 20s died at the hospital. The driver was detained for intoxication manslaughter. We're seeing the family of Erik Cantu in person for the first time. We've received emails from the family through their attorneys, but yesterday they held their first news conference in person.
We don't even know how many. We suspect that there's been, or assume there's been 4, because that's how many bullets have been recovered, with the exception of one that is still lodged near his heart. They're unable to get that out right now. It would do more harm than good.
And he is getting slightly better. His wounds are healing, but the wounds that he's endured are great. There's a lot of them.
17-year-old Erik Cantu is fighting for his life in the hospital right now. Body cam video showed he was eating a burger in his car at a McDonald's parking lot when a now fired officer walked up and ordered him out of the car. The teen started to back up, and that's when the officer opened fire. Now the former officer, James Brennan, is facing charges. Also nationally recognized civil rights attorney Ben Crump is representing the family of Erik Cantu. He says this was a clear case of racial profiling. A San Antonio mom, meanwhile, says she had to call an ambulance for her 11-year-old son after he was stabbed with a pencil at school. The school tells us this was an accident. Priscilla Ramirez says her 11-year-old son had to spend a week out of school after he was stabbed in the buttocks. She says the school nurse could not remove the pencil that was at least 2 inches deep. KIPP Academy responded to us in an email saying after a thorough review, it was determined to be an accident. That statement also said appropriate action was taken and involved families were notified. Ramirez says this was no accident.
Shocking. That was real ugly for a mother to see it. Words can't explain how much to see your child in that much pain.
Now the family wants to see the report from the school's investigation, and a school spokesperson told us the family would be provided that report. A mother and her son are fighting for their lives today while police search for answers. They were standing outside when someone drove by and fired a dozen shots. This happened on Almeida Street on the north side around 6 o'clock last night. Police said an unknown person shot the 34-year-old woman and her 16-year-old son. They were both taken to the hospital in critical condition. Police said there were no witnesses, but plenty of security cameras on that street. In less than 2 weeks, 80% of San Antonio will see a big change in trash pickup days. The city says it wants to save $2.6 million by making the routes more efficient. The Solid Waste Division says it saw an increase in trash picked up at homes during the pandemic, and they're having a tough time keeping up with the current schedule. You can check out your trash pickup schedule on KENS5.com under that story. A new state hospital will be opening on the south side of San Antonio, so now Bexar County wants to study how the old campus can be reused. And the goal is to offer additional services to people with mental illness. Some of the county's ideas include creating housing for people once they're ready to leave a hospital. The National Alliance on Mental Illness says it can break the cycle that often affects people with mental illness. New photos are released of a migrant encounter in LaSalle County. Deputies say Texas DPS was responding to a trailer load of migrants Tuesday morning, and that's when a nearby rancher reported 20 people on his property. 11 people were detained and transferred to Border Patrol custody. Millions of Pine Sol products are being recalled now over concerns it could cause people to get sick. The recall affects certain Pine Sol scented multi-surface cleaners, Clorox Pro Pine Sol all-purpose cleaners, and Clorox Professional Pine Sol lemon fresh cleaners. Original Pine Sol is not included in that recall. The affected products were sold between January 2021 and September 2022. For more info on that recall, go to KENS5.com. Meanwhile, a recall with no fix 1 year later is sparking anger among so many patients, and it could lead to legal action. It is a massive recall of millions of sleep apnea machines. Phillips says replacing or repairing millions of recalled CPAP machines will drag into 2023. Phillips previously estimated it would be done within a year after the June 2021 recall. And now U.S. officials are weighing legal action to speed up replacement efforts. The FDA attributes 168 deaths to be related to the recalled machines. And on this Wednesday, I want to check in with meteorologist Bob Morales for today's forecast.
All right, you need a jacket out there this morning, but you won't need one later on this afternoon. Lots of sunshine, dry conditions, light winds, big swing in temperatures. High this afternoon at around 80. This evening, temperatures will cool down, but I think it's going to be a nice evening. And again, lots of sunshine today.
Love sunshine. That's KENS 5 News Now. Thanks so much for joining us. And of course, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're in front of the TV, be sure to tune in to KENS 5, 4:30 to 7 a.m. Monday through Friday. Thanks again. I'm Sarah Pagani.